On the morning of Monday, August 12th, Guyanese awoke to the news that a second major oil company had found a large quantity of oil and gas just offshore in a field south of ExxonMobil's site where they had drilled 13 successful wells so far. That company was Tullow Oil of the United Kingdom, and they announced their discovery of oil in commercial quantities in the Orinoco block. Now, with me to discuss the significance of this major find is Executive Vice President Dr. Ian Cloke. I'm Paul McAdam, and this is One on One. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
First off, we begin with Tullow was awarded a 60% operating interest in the Orinoco block in 2016. Now, you're no stranger to the oil sector or the oil industry internationally. You're operating in South America and in Africa. Why did you decide to get into the oil business in Guyana?
In Guyana. So we've been looking at Guyana, Suriname areas since 2006. So we've had a presence in the area since then. And then we entered into Guyana in 2008 with the former Georgetown license. So we've actually been in Guyana now for over 11 years. So what attracted us here was the very, very rich source rock which produces oil. We had identified reservoirs back then and traps. So we thought all the ingredients were there potentially to have commercial oil discoveries.
So when Exxon announced that they had struck oil, you kept your fingers crossed and saying that, okay, we should be in the business soon.
So at that stage, we had the Canoe license. The Georgetown license became the Canoe license, which is operated by Repsol. And prior to Exxon having their discovery, we've been negotiating with the government, which started in 2014, for the Orondike license. So even before the Exxon discovery, the ExxonMobil discovery at Liza 1, we had been negotiating on the Orondike license.
All right, now you've encountered major success with your first exploration well, Jethro 1. It said that the major discovery significantly de-risked tertiary age prospects in terms of barrels of oil. Now, for the ordinary person out there, what does that mean? So
we have a number of prospects on the acreage. There's tertiary age, which is quite young sediments. The analogy in Starbrook is the Hammerhead discovery, which Exxon made back in 2018. And then the other prospects on the license are older, so they're deeper in the section, and they're something called the Cretaceous age, which is the equivalent of the Liza discovery. So what we have managed to do with Jethro is these tertiary age prospects have, with the Jethro 1 result, now been de-risked. They're not absolutely identical, but we have a much more confident interpretation that we have reservoir there. Certainly at Jethro, we have hydrocarbons, and now we're moving on to the Joe well to see if that one works.
So this is the Joe 1.
Joe 1, yeah.
So are you confident there's a high percentage of chance that that too will be successful?
Post the Jethro 1 result, we have more confidence than pre there. Unfortunately, this game is nothing is ever certain until you actually drill down and you find out if the hydrocarbons are there or not. But we feel more confident than we did pre the Jethro result. I mean, Joe is testing the western part of Orondike, so it is a separate area of the block. It is a different part of the petroleum system. So even though Jethro 1 worked, it's given us a bit more feeling that Joe will, but it doesn't say that there will be hydrocarbons there for certain.
But there's a good chance.
There's a good chance.
All right, how long is that expected to last, the drilling?
We started just in late August, and the results should be known. It's quite a short well, probably by late September, we've been advising.
So any other exploration drilling campaign for this year, or that's it?
So in terms of Orondike, we came in specifically to drill 2 wells, Jethro and Joe. We're partner in the Canoe license, which is just to the south, and it's west of Starbrook. And that is the Karapa well, which will be drilled by Repsol. So that was spud in late September, and a result there will be due at the end of Q4, so towards December time on that well. That's targeting a Cretaceous age prospect.
Also older sedimentary rock.
Older sediment. So the 3 wells that we've drilled or will have drilled, the 2 operated, which are drilled by Tullow, and the 1 non-operated, they're all testing different elements of the play, what we call the play system. So Jethro is a tertiary prospect, Joe is a tertiary prospect, but it's younger, and then the Karapa prospect is a Cretaceous prospect and is older.
All right. Now, you also have a stake in the Kanuku block, as you said. What's your confidence level? I don't know if you really touched on it before, but are you confident also going into that phase?
So the Kanuku and Karapa is a much more risky well. So pre-drilling Jethro, what we were guiding in terms of what we call chance of success is between about 20 and 30. And Karapa still sits in that lower sort of 20 or 30%. So if you flip it around the other side, 70% chance that we won't find hydrocarbons. So it is a much more risky well than the Joe or Jethro prospects. We still like it, but that's what we do as explorationists. We take risk on, and if we're successful, we find hydrocarbons.
All right. Now, tell us a little bit about your partnership with Eco Atlantic and Total EP Guyana. Yes. How's that partnership going?
It's going very well. I mean, each company brings something different to the group. So Eco partnered with us at the beginning, back in 2016 when we were awarded the block. So at that stage they were 40%. We're at 60%. So good percentage for an operator. Then Total farmed in just after, I think it was 2017, to take 25% off Eco. And now Qatar Petroleum have joined with Total. So we haven't met with Qatar Petroleum yet, but they're a very strong company with operations out of Qatar and around the rest of the globe.
I guess they would bring a lot of experience.
They bring a lot of experience. Total bring a lot of experience. We work with Total elsewhere, whether in South America or Africa, particularly in our big partnerships in Uganda and Kenya. So we have a good relationship with them. We've worked with Eco elsewhere, in Namibia, in South Africa as well, or Southern Africa.
All right. Now, a big issue for people here is local content. How do you address this? I know you have a small office here, but I'm guessing as you ramp up your activities, you're going to be looking at expanding.
Yeah.
In terms of local content, how do you plan on dealing with that moving forward?
Local content's really, really important for us. If you look at our other operations where we've been successful, so Uganda, Kenya and Ghana, just to use a couple of examples, they're all led by nationals of those countries. So the Ghana, we're actually on our second manager of the business there. It's over 80% Ghanaian nationals in there. Uganda, we're on our second manager who leads that business, and Kenya on our first one. So that is what we do. And a successful Guyanan business for us in the future will look very similar to those ones, led by a Guyanese. In terms of local content, what are we doing now? So at the moment, we're really at that early stage, the exploration stage, and we've got the office here. We're as we go forward, so now we're moving beyond exploration into hopefully appraisal on Jethro. We'll be looking to establish a shore base here. And we're evaluating some submissions on shore base. So that brings our operation on here. We'll look to expand the office here. We'll be looking at other areas for investment. The helicopters will still be used here. Well services companies, so things around the rig that we'll be making within the contracts, the onus on those companies to supply them as with Guyanese personnel.
Now, I'm thinking your technical staff, of course, will come from your core companies because they have the experience. But your offshoot services, you will ensure that a lot of Guyanese or locals get the benefit and buy into that.
And that's the next phase now. So we've done the first phase of the contracting for this set of wells, which were 2 for us, and we'll start doing that for the next phase of wells. And we'll look to open up as many tenders as possible to give local companies the ability to compete in them. So
I don't know if we could do this. Could we discuss numbers, or you don't want to touch on that right now in terms of how many locals you have working with your operation?
Purely in the office at the moment, we have 2 locals, because it's a very small office. Okay. I mean, we're led by 1 expat country manager and two other Guyanese within the office. We'll be looking to expand that. It all, in terms of the numbers in that office, it all depends on how quickly we proceed with the next phase of the appraisal of the discoveries. We were still at a really, really early phase. We've been lucky enough to find oil on the first well. If you look across elsewhere in our operations, that doesn't always happen. And we've got the Joe well coming on at the moment. Hopefully we'll have a result by the end of September. Once we've got those results, then we can start planning the next phase of the operation and how it works out.
All right, now the issue of the power sharing agreement, that PSA. You've been here for a couple of years now. In the percentage, we know what the percentage is. Would you be willing to renegotiate if that comes up?
Contract sanctity
Yes.
is very important for us. And if you look across all of our contracts, wherever they are, Africa, South America, contract sanctity is key, and it's key in the industry as well. But what we do look to do is we look to try and appreciating that the contract terms that we had here are representative of frontier terms. So frontier terms are where it's very, very high risk. And if you actually go back, when we drilled the Jaguar well, so this was back in 2012, 2013, we spent over $80 million and we found nothing. So that's the other end of the scale.
That risk is on your end.
That's all on our end. And we eat that up because that's the business that we're in. So when you're at a frontier stage, you expect the terms to reflect that. Now, if we're successful, and we've been successful in other countries like Ghana, which was very much frontier terms, because you're finding oil where nobody has found it before, you look to put as much back into the country as possible. That's what we call our shared prosperity model. So looking to make sure the office is staffed as much with locals. We try to run as much in country as possible. So if you look at Ghana, if you look at Uganda, Kenya, almost everything is done in country, and that's what we'll be doing. Other areas that we'll be looking at, we call STEM, science, technology, engineering and maths. That's an area that we're focused on, and we've been focusing on that in other countries in Africa, and there'll be a number of other areas. But as I go back, contract sanctity is very important for us. If you look at the terms in terms of what the country takes, the country actually takes back between 50 and 60% net state take. So that's the share of the profits that the country takes. And that is actually very similar to countries at this stage in the petroleum cycle.
Because we're still early in the game, basically.
We're still very early in the game. I mean, at the end of this year, hopefully, or early next year, the Lisa discovery will be producing first oil. So it is still very early. And from an Orondite perspective, although we have one discovery, and we've been lucky enough to hit with that first well, we still have to appraise it to establish if it is going to be commercial in its own right.
Going forward, what are your prospects going forward? I guess you're confident so far, but what do you see maybe 5-10 years down the road if all pans out?
So at the moment, what we've mapped on the licenses, both Orondite and Kanuku, we've identified prospects that could be up to 4 billion barrels total in size. So that's gross, unrisked. We'll be looking, so that is what we think could be out there, but at a very early exploration stage. We've hit with the first well, and we've said that we feel that we've encountered in excess of 100 million barrels. We'll be looking to appraise that, and then we'll be looking to drill on and look at what else is on the acreage. If you look out to 5 or 10 years, so now you would anticipate that hopefully one of those discoveries has moved into production. If you go to look at where we were successful in Ghana, we were producing Ghana or Jubilee in just over 3 years. Now, can't say that's going to happen here, but we do look to get the projects on stream as quickly as we can. Next year, we'll be back. We're going to be talking to partners and sharing our plans. And then once we've agreed with our partners, we'll be sharing with the government to get their support, but looking to come back and drill appraisal wells and exploration wells as well.
Right. Are you satisfied with the support you're getting now from government and local stakeholders going forward?
The support so far has been excellent. When we first engaged with the ministry about September, October last year, we asked for their support in accelerating the programme. The wells on Orondite we weren't necessarily planning them until late 2020. So we moved them forward by over a year, and we got their support to do that. And all the support has been excellent so far.
All right, well, good luck as you move forward. This is One on One. My name is Paul McAdam. With me is an Executive Vice President of Tullow Oil UK, Guyana, Dr. Ian Cloke. Welcome, and thanks for joining me on the program. I hope to have you back here to give an update on your discoveries as we move forward, and I'm sure you have a lot more to tell us as we continue.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks again. All right.